Hi everyone, Susie Kerr-Wright, the Cosmic Cupcake with your forecast for this week. Now this week I'm going to do this completely different than I normally do. Normally I write out every single word that I share with you, and I sometimes break it down by sign. Sometimes I'll just give you your stellar day. Sometimes I'll give you a little thing to watch for, pay attention to by sign, for sun sign or ascendant. This week I'll tell you, there is so much going on. I couldn't even get my mind around it. And I don't know if it's just a funk I'm going through or whatever. I'm going to read it to you from something called the Daily Planetary Guide. If you don't have one of these, it's a great resource. This is where I get the information for all the void of course moons and things like that. I mean, I also have, Solar Fire for all of the transits and anything coming up. And I use a number of different resources to get you all the information as accurately as possible. But this also has an ephemeris in the back here. So you can always see where the planetary motions are, what's going on, where they're moving, when they're retrograding and going forward and all that. So, they also, in the very beginning of the book, they have these little blurbs that just talk about, what the general overtones are for the week. And as I sat here trying to, pull my resources and try and figure this out, I thought there is just no way that I can break this down for everybody. Maybe it's just me in overload, but so I just thought, when I read what they had to say, sometimes I'll quote from it, sometimes I'll look at these, and sometimes I don't look at them at all, but I saw what they had to write, and I thought, I'm just going to share that information with you. So hopefully you haven't already read it, and I will be offering you something that you wouldn't normally hear anyway. So that is the idea, is to give you a heads up of this wherever it comes from, right? Anyways, I'm just gonna dive right in, guys, because we got a rock'em sock'em week coming up. September 30th to October 6th. That's the period here that they're talking about. And they even start out by saying this week is chock full of change with an important conjunction, a retrograde, and 3 sign shifts. Okay, so on Monday they say it may bring bursts of fireworks and drama to national prominence when Venus merges with the fixed star Regulus. Now, according to the Starlight Report, they say this combination signifies that the role of the king or leader, whoever the leader is, becomes of prime importance, because that is what it represents. It represents the Archangel Raphael. And Dark Star Astrology actually comments on this a little bit further. They say that anyone chasing fame for fame's sake is likely to face some pretty dire consequences, very karmic consequences with this blend. So this is the time and the place this week where anybody in prominence will be seen for who they are. So hopefully you are living in integrity and will not be exposed for anything you don't want to be exposed. So the next day, Venus moves into humble Virgo. This is where we get a little bit of a break here from this energy, where service becomes the key word over the next six weeks, and also simplicity. Things, they like things to be simple and clean and neat. So to me that indicates an area where we start cleaning out all of those excess relationships that we don't need anymore. There is a lot of big purge going on this week, so hopefully you're not just looking at this stuff and going, oh, okay, I think I'll stay in this really rotten relationship, in this terrible job, all right, so then on Thursday, more. There's Jupiter extends its tour in Gemini by going into the retrograde phase of its cycle for 4 months. And Jupiter goes retrograde every year for several months. So Jupiter, always good no matter what. So this is going to be a period, they say, where it's a useful time to expand your understanding by going back and reviewing your past experiences. So take advantage of that, because Jupiter is, again, it's a very positive, it gives you at least an element of optimism to be able to face this stuff, So, and then to add to the excitement, they say, there are 3 planetary sign changes at the end of the week. The longest lasting occurs on Friday and involves Saturn, one of the hot spots of the year. And this is the big mamma jamma we've been talking about for a while coming up. So that's the day that Saturn ends its tour in Libra, and it's been in there since 2010. I know you Libras know that. And it enters Scorpio, where it will remain there for the next 2.5 years. So welcome to my world. I get it very early though. My sun is 5 degrees Scorpio, which means it will be past mine before a lot of you get hit with it. So I'll tell you how it goes. Actually, the last time Saturn was in Scorpio was 1983 to 1985. And it kind of reminds me of that quote, these were the best of times and the worst of times. So for Scorpios. So think back to those days and what was going on. So now, during this new era, our karmic lessons, Saturn is karma, he's the cosmic cop, right? Will be delivered with an intense emotional punch that involves crisis and calls for transformation. And that comes from the Scorpio piece of it. So later that same day, Isabel Hickey called this the test of outgoing desire. Very interesting. Very interesting transformation for a lot of folks, not just Scorpios, for everybody. Later that same day, Mercury jumps into the mix and joins Saturn in Scorpio, which brings both intensity and a provocative style to mental and social communications. So here's how they sum it up. For the next 3 weeks, it would be wise to be on guard against biting remarks that could inflict a deep wound. Mars enters fiery Sagittarius the next day, which pushes the need for action onward and upward for the next 6 weeks. During this restless period, activities are focused on areas of higher learning, history, religion, philosophy, sports, travel. That's all Sagittarius ruled stuff. Whenever Mars is in Sag, it's time to shake out the cobwebs and get ready to go on a big adventure. So for all signs, we're in Pee-wee's big adventure here. We're going places we've never gone before. Skeletons will be coming out of the closet, even though it's not quite Halloween. It doesn't have to be terrifying and emotionally draining. Watch your drama quotient. Just realize what you have, what is good. Stay in the gratitude side of things. Stay in the positive thinking the best you can. And walk through. Face your fears and walk right through them, you know. You can do it. Next week we do get a little bit of a breather in there. So, you know, just kind of bite your tongue, watch what you say, and walk through this stuff. And you'll come out of it a lot more powerful and a lot more peaceful and a lot happier. So if you'd like to know where all of this stuff is going to impact you, because we have challenges in many different areas and different changes and things, mostly the changes. That's what's generally hard for a lot of people, is just the change. But there's things that are pushing us into new ways of thinking and feeling and acting and going in our lives, and places where we have these opportunities, great opportunities to clear away so much stuff, and we're really being pushed and pulled in many different ways, and where all of that's activated in your world, you know, based on where these things are falling in your chart. So if you would like to know where all of this activity is taking place and what that's going to mean to you personally, contact me at astrogirl12.com. and we'll look at your chart and talk all about it. Other than that, you guys, that's all I got for you this week. I wish you all a sweet and delicious week. Stay in gratitude. Be kind to yourselves and to others, because as you're going through these changes, remember, so is everyone else. So let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Have a nice week. Bye.